On day 13, we'll be taking the shuttle bus from the hotel downtown to Pike Market. You can see the fog has moved in as the Space Needle can't be seen. This is the route we'll be taking. This is the area we'll be exploring today. Pike Market is located just above the harbor and is the public market for many different items. This is the route we'll be taking through it. And then we'll go down to the aquarium. Well, that's the machine.
That's a very big batch.
Making cheese.
Is this your hand right here?
Well, here we'll go by the original Starbucks. And then it's time to head down to the Seattle Aquarium on the waterfront, Pier 59. Let's just sit back and look at the sights. Sea anemones.
It has one drawing off the one here.
One finger, gently. You can't pull them off. Gently. Everything washes you.
This is a clam, as you can see. One of their main exhibits is invertebrates, and they have all different types of living coral. Let's look at some of these beautiful animals. They have a breeding program here where Chinook salmon come each year to spawn, and they then release the smelts to come back at a later time. They have a bird display, but it's not penguins, it's birds from the Arctic. Penguins would only be in the Antarctic. No penguins in the Arctic. Next, we'll explore along the dock some before catching a boat and heading out to Blake's Island and Telecom, and then heading back out. There's the Silverman. They have just installed a new Ferris wheel. Let's watch it. Also along the boardwalk is Miners Landing, and here you can play all sorts of games and ride merry-go-rounds. They also have a lot of life-size wooden carvings. Need a ride? The bicycle taxi will take you where you want to go. All along the dock front are various seafood places to eat. And then we arrive at the old curiosity shop, founded in 1899, just after the gold rush. Why, there's a stuffed mermaid. You never know what you'll find here. What about a two-headed calf? And then you can get some balloon animals made. Seems the people in Seattle are always in a hurry to get somewhere, never really settle just taking in the sights. The Red Robin on Pier 55 is right next to where we'll catch a boat, and it's one of the favorite dining places for seagulls. We rest a little bit and watch the ships sailing in the harbor. And then it's our turn to catch our boat and head out to Tilikum Village. Why, here it comes now. We get on board and out we sail with the rest of the ships, heading away from Seattle. Our tour guide will be telling us about everything as we go out. We're headed out to Blake Island, which a Mr. Trimble, a lawyer from Mississippi, bought in 1890, built a large estate there, and had a garden for his wife. They invited many of the rich out from Seattle, but in a tragedy in 1929, she drowned in a car ferry accident, and he never returned to the island. It was eventually bought by the state, and now Tilikum Village is there to help us remember our Indian culture from here. This is made to look somewhat like a Squamish longhouse. They would have been 300 feet long and made out of cedar planks. These are some old pictures of longhouses from Indian villages. And here's what one might have looked like, a reconstruction of one that has been excavated. Well, Lachute said canoes were 90 feet long, carried 45 people and a ton of cargo, but since they were made out of cedar, they could be carried by 10 people. Let's visit Tilikum. The Indians in this area were not farmers or herdsmen. They were hunter-gatherers. They gathered a lot of what they needed from the ocean. Salmon, 5 runs a year. Also seaweed and clams and other things to eat. On the land they had berries, and they had cedar planks for their longhouses that they could produce. In fact, they worked during the summer, and during the winter they had a lot of time of rest in their longhouses to tell stories. As we arrive at the village, they've been steaming clams, and it's time for us to eat a few. The decorations are like a typical Squamish village from this area would have looked like. The totem post told the story of the village. Blake Island is where Chief Sitato was born. and his help of the settlers, they decided to name their town after him, but they couldn't say it right, so they called it Seattle. They'll be roasting our salmon over an open alder fire, as they have for almost 2,500 years in this area. Then it's time for us to head in and eat. Here's our menu for the day.
We made our way over here today from Seattle. Welcome everyone to Tillicum Village. I'd like to take a moment to paint a picture of where we are. This building is a stylized Northwest Native American log house, representative of those that have been lived in for centuries along the shores of Puget Sound. They are built with these massive timbers that you see here for structure, and with split cedar plank for siding and for roofing. Now, gaps would be left in the plank to allow in sunlight so that smoke could escape up through the rooftop. One or more fires would be burning on a dirt floor, creating a smoky haze and a strong smell of wood burning. A large empty stage such as this at one end of the log house is where ceremonies, stories, and dances would be Salish.
We are the Salish language speakers who live by the saltwater. Tribes like the Skokomish, Tulalip, Puyallup, Squaxin, Duwamish, Suquamish, and many others live all around this region. In fact, Chief Seattle is thought to have been born on this very island. Coast Salish culture is very different from traditional Western culture. The newcomers who arrived here were puzzled by the language, customs, and faith of the native people. This led to many misunderstandings.
Welcome, my friends. I'm glad to see you here today. So, you want to learn about my people, the Coast Salish. I'm glad for that.
It's known by different names: Sasquatch, Slapu, Zunagwa. Dances telling of this monster have been given for generations. They tell of its power and honor it in the hope it will be pacified. And, just as important, it taught children to be careful in the forest. The creature had the fur and claws of a fearsome animal, but it walked on two legs. It could grow in size. It was very fast on land and in the water. The beast is seen tearing through the forest in search of prey, for it is all.
The dancers honor different types of water: rain, river, and salt water. As you watch this dance, try to picture the water itself spinning, flowing, and being a part of your life.
In it, a masterfully carved mask is used. One side represents the ancestors of the past. The other, the elders of the present. Two worlds forever joined as one. Created by master carvers, help them honor the spirits. In their ceremony of masks, they honor a time before people, the time of the spirits. Here we see the long-beaked servants of the feared Bakbakwanunutsue, cannibal spirit of the north, the Hamatsare, Crooked Beak, and Hoksokwa. The thundering sound is the noise of them crying out for food for their master.
The Big Beat, danced by Cholnath Walter Charlie. And to the far left, we have the Gla Usis, the Crooked Beat, danced by Simsiam Frank Mather. All right, guys, thank you very much. By my watch now.
After the show, we'll look around Blake Islands. While looking around, we see black-tailed deer, and we also see a hornet's nest. Then here comes our boat, and it's time to head back to Seattle. Once back in Seattle, it's time to climb the hill. The elevator isn't working, so we have to climb all the way up to the Pike Mark. But Deborah the Explorer is up to it. Once at the top, we go over to Post Alley and see the gum wall where people stick their gum. How disgusting can that be? Then we head back to the hotel for the night.
Was the salmon good? The natives here used to eat it every day in some way. I am glad that you were interested enough in our culture to come out here and see the show and explore some. I know the aquarium was interesting also. I wish I could do things like go to the aquarium, but they all get excited for some reason when I go walking around, so I have decided to just sit here and be quiet. It seems to be the best for everyone. Well, I am glad you can travel without making too big of a ruckus. Have a great day tomorrow and take it easy on that hill climb.